I'm Julia.
And I'm Sue.
Welcome to Sticks and Stones. Today on Sticks and Stones we're going to be making fabric covered buttons. This is a great way to use up your scraps of fabric and mismatched buttons for a project if you can't find ones that you like at the store. We're also going to be talking about our Podiversary results for the drawing and who won what, talking about a new knit-along that's coming up, and showing off the things we've been working on. Come on back and join us. So Sue and I are back.
We're back. We were off celebrating our Podiversary so hard.
Yes, we've had a lot of good things come around this month, but I got my yarn from Spinning Fates.
Fun.
You don't care? No.
I do care. I love it. I think it's a great color.
Yeah. This is called Eat Your Greens.
I think that's a great name too because it does look like spring spinach and kale salad.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, there was a bit of a drama getting this. It apparently got lost in the mail and just about chewed up by a packaging machine, but it's here and I'm very happy. So I hope any of you guys who joined us in the coupons for this yarn have gotten yours successfully and are enjoying it. And congratulations to Laurel. She just had her 7th baby.
Oh my goodness.
So if it's late, that's probably why.
Wow.
No, but apparently they're doing well, and I'm really excited for her that she's heading off on a new venture there.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to say thank you to Annette for making me this really, really, really cool clapetee in the zombie swap.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
So yeah, she was funny. She said, "I saw you frog that twice, so I made you one because I never could get through it." So this is my other thank you.
Very nice.
So. Good stuff this week, and we have things to give away too. I have my list of winners.
Who won? What did they win?
I went through and I did the random number generator. There were 23 people who entered through the Ravelry board and had a lot of good things that you'll like to make for the presents and get for their presents, and hopefully you guys will enjoy these presents. But I'll just kind of go through the list here and we'll show you what you've won. So the first prize was the earrings from Sue, these little cute mushroom earrings, and the winner of this was number 19, Pattern Whisperer won these. So congratulations, Pattern Whisperer. You can send us a PM on Ravelry or a comment on the blog and let us know your address and we'll send those right out.
Right now.
The second prize is a Ravelry pattern from my store. You can choose whichever pattern you would like. And that person is number 23.
Crocheting cheese.
It's actually
Crouching
cheese.
I thought it had to be crocheting, you know? Crouching cheese.
Crouching cheese. So Crouching cheese won a pattern from the Ravelry store. So
you have a lot of good patterns up there.
I'm hoping you'll like one of them, and so let me know which one you want. The third is, I'll let you hold these up, some little stitch markers that I put together. They are the kind that lock. So you get my debut locking stitch markers, and this person is number 6, Kisa Valkyrie. So congratulations for the stitch markers. The next one, we have some soap and a face cloth.
Fun.
And it's number 22. Can you read this one?
His handmade.
Very good.
Woohoo!
His handmade wins the soap and the cloth. Congratulations. The crazy carnival bats that were so generously donated to us by Greenwood. Sorry, blanking. I didn't write that part down. I will write her name here. She donated the carnival bats, and it was number 3. Won that one. Same old knit. So congratulations to you for winning the carnival bats.
Those look like fun.
Yeah. And our last one is a I-cord necklace that I will make for you in your choice of color. And number 2 has won this one, and her Ravelry name is
J. Pester.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So, yay, thanks guys for helping us celebrate our Podiversary. We had a lot of fun.
We did.
And I'm glad that some other people got to win too.
Yes.
So
lots of good stuff.
yeah. The other kind of administrative thing I want to throw out there to you guys is we're going to be hosting a knit-along for a sweater called Old Town.
Nice.
You're going to join us, right?
Oh, sure.
I think it's going to be a fun one to do.
I don't know how many washcloths I ever finished.
One of these days you're going to have to do a craft along.
One of
We'll
these,
have to
I
do
do.
something
Yes,
that
one
is
of these
challenging
days.
for the rest of us.
Yes.
Well, the knitter side
I've
of
got to
us.
come up with something good.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I've been thinking about it all this time.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yes,
I
it
like
would.
to do a crafty thing too. So, but this is the yarn I have chosen. You need a sport weight yarn. The pattern is available on Ravelry. The other half of this knit along is going to be hosted by the Knitter's Edge, which is one of our local yarn shops, and they are.
They're located in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Yes, they are hosting the second half, and so they will be supplying the yarn, and also you can get the pattern through them. If you decide to go through them, you get 10% off because of their discount. If you buy $50 worth of yarn, you automatically get 10% back. So that's a good way to get a sweater's quantity without spending a whole ton. On the Ravelry side, the designer of the pattern, Carol Sunday, has offered 10% off of her pattern as well if you buy it through Ravelry. And she's offering a discount off of kits if you choose to go that way. And I'll have all the details of this written up for you. So the knit along is starting May 15th.
And I heard it's a really cool pattern. Everybody wants to make it.
It's a beautiful sweater. And somebody brought it into the shop one day, and literally every person who saw it was like, I have to have it now. So I am a sucker. And I went right over and bought my yarn. But there's plenty left out there. So please take a look at the Old Town pattern and consider joining us. There will be giveaways, because giveaways are good.
Giveaways are always good.
For people who want to join. And there'll be threads both here and on the Knitter's Edge Ravelry group. So
Fun.
you guys are welcome to pop on in. And send me a message if you want more details. I'll have it all written up for you on the blog. So just remember, Old Town, sport weight yarn, May 15th.
All the important details.
Yes. So that's the administrative part, and I guess we're on to the fun now.
That was fun. People won.
I know, well that's true, that is fun. That is the fun part. So what do you have for us today?
What do I have for us? Well, I've been doing a lot of planting. That's been my creative endeavor, is trying to figure out what I'm doing with my garden and moving stuff, filling in the dirt hole and making it a garden. And so I made a whole bunch of, they make a lot of noise, of markers. These are actually going to be gifts.
Oh, cool.
So we did the hand stamping with episode 19, and we learned how to put the letters on. But what I did is, this is aluminum, and I sent it through a Sizzix so that it would get this texturing on it.
Oh, very cool.
And so they have these little backgrounds and these fun texturing. And if you don't know what a Sizzix is, this is the Sizzix big thing.
Goodness, is that heavy?
It is very heavy. And this is used for scrapbooking.
Okay.
And you use it to cut scrapbooking paper in different shapes. But they have pieces that are used for metal. And they're made by Vintage. Vintage makes different types of blanks, which is like a circle with a hole in it so that you can use it to make a necklace. And so,
oh, I see.
So you buy these are made for metal.
Okay.
And they're made to be used with the Vintage blanks.
Okay.
But this metal is not any heavier than those. And so you can run it through. So all you do is you use it exactly like a Sizzix. This is the etching one. And you just put your metal blank on top of here wherever you want it. You put it in the little Sizzix sandwich thing. And then
very cool.
And then you run it through the Sizzix machine. You crank it through.
Okay.
And it stamps onto the metal.
Okay.
So it's really fun. I like sending it through.
Is this a separate, like,
That
embossing thing too?
No, that is, you put that on the top and that cuts through. That saves your machine from getting damaged.
So that's all of the imprints.
Imprints from
Wow.
previous things that we've cut.
That's a pretty efficient little machine.
It is. So you get to use these over and over until they're pretty much beat, and then you have to buy a new one. But there's the etching one that does an etch, and then there's the embossing ones that are raised. So you can't use the embossing ones that are made for paper because it won't work. This is made of metal, where the embossing ones for paper are made of plastic.
Okay.
But I just thought it was fun. It just made them a little more interesting because they have a little bit more texture and background to them.
Yeah.
And there's little birds and stuff.
Yeah, I love that. It's really pretty.
And butterflies and plants and stuff. So some of these are going to be donated to our school, the elementary school where our children go. We got a grant to put in a garden, and so the kids have been planting the food, and they're very excited about harvesting it. And during the summer, we're going to maintain it. But some of these are going there. Some of these are going to be gifts for people, and then I'm going to have to make some for us too.
Yeah, those are very cool.
So they're fun.
They're neat. I really like the way it looks with the embossing behind it. It kind of gives it a whole nother level of, well, some depth.
Right.
Which I guess is the point, right?
Yes. So everything that I've been doing creatively generally is focusing on plants, outdoors, shoveling dirt, because that's what I like to do. And then the other thing that I worked on was these earrings that I just put together really quickly. And these are made from buttons that I got at a store in town called Salvage Goods, which is kind of like an upscale thrift store, I suppose you would say. You know, they resell a lot of old type things.
But it's home goods though, right? Not so much
right, yes.
clothing or housewares.
So anyway, so I got these cute little buttons there this past weekend, so I whipped up some earrings.
Cool.
So yeah, I haven't been doing as much creative stuff as I would like to. Because I've been outside. I'm outside in the dirt. That makes me happy all the time, being dirty.
I heard somewhere that there's some kind of I don't know if it's a bacteria or what it is in the dirt that actually is good for you, like it's a mood enhancer.
Really?
So, yeah. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, well, dirt's just a mood enhancer for me. That's what my husband says. Usually when it gets warm in like February or March, he says, just go outside and put your hands in the dirt. And then I feel happier.
And let the bacteria
crawl up my hands. Okay, now you're skewing me up.
I don't think it's anything bad. I think it's, you know.
Really?
So, yeah.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I thought I heard that somewhere. That's why we like to dig. We like to get out because it
well,
makes
there's
you
also
happy.
trace minerals in dirt that because they wash vegetables so much, like selenium is a trace mineral that you need, but you can't really take it because you would have too much then and you would overdose on it. But it's trace, so you know, back in the day when everybody dug everything up and then you know you didn't get every single bit of dirt off, you'd get these trace minerals. So
That's interesting.
anyway, there's your little biology lesson for today. What have you been working on?
Well, I've kind of had the bug to design again, and so I've been working on some little sweaters. These are going to be 3 months to 24 months, and this is a little girl's one. It is just about ready for test knitting, so if any of you want to help me out and be a test knitter, I would love to have you help me. There's the back, and the buttons we're doing today are actually going to be going right on there.
Fun!
So, yeah, this is a little
Cute
short
colors.
sleeve one. And this is going to be the little boy's one. It's
But you could do this one for a boy.
It could be,
You
yes.
Just do a different color.
Yes, it could be for a boy as well. I am feminizing and masculinizing them just so that they're different from each other because they're basically the same pattern. But this is going to be a Henley. That's the little top of the front, and then I'm going to put elbow patches.
Fun.
So yeah, I'm not giving too many trade secrets away, I don't think, but these will be up for test knit real soon, and I could really could use some help getting them ready to get out there. So if you guys are interested, send me a message. But they've been fun because they're small. I like small projects.
Yes, you can whip them up quickly.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to make one of these?
That took me 10, 15 hours maybe. With all the math and stuff I had to do to figure it out.
Wow, that's
That
fast.
takes a while.
But that's fast. If I tried to knit this without doing math, it would take me 3 years.
It requires you to actually do it.
It requires you to sit still. That's my problem.
Yeah.
This is as still as I get.
Yeah.
Right now, but I'm doing something. Maybe if I learned to knit and I knitted through our podcast, I would get stuff done.
There you go. You know, a lot of people do that. Not a problem.
Maybe that's what I'll do next time. Is I will knit through the whole podcast and I'll be like, what? Huh? What?
We'll do the informal session and we'll just knit and talk. And you guys can hear us ramble for like...
You don't really want to hear that. Actually, that's not something we want recorded.
Behind the scenes with Julia and Sue. So. But this is my other project. This is the silver that I'm continuing on with. I am almost finished. And again, this is the Spinning Fates Frederick and Ann colorway. The same girl who did this one.
It is very shiny.
Yeah, I really like it. It goes this way actually.
It's all right. It's not done, so you can't tell,
No,
right?
it's not. It's not quite finished. But I'm on my last little stockinette section in between, and then I have to do my last 5 ridges, and then I bind off, and it's finished. So I'm getting pretty close to being done with this. I'm excited about that. And that's about it. May is, we've been outside too, so May's been kind of a get ready to go and do stuff month rather than sit around and try to stay warm month.
Well, honestly, we haven't had much rain, so there's
Yeah.
not many days that we're forced to stay inside
Yeah.
and hunker down.
It's been really nice here this spring. So now we're going to make some buttons.
Fun.
And I've got all my supplies out there. I think we can find some to work with. And we'll meet you at the table in just a minute. For today's DIY, we're going to do fabric covered buttons. What you need for this project is some kind of fabric, scraps or fat quarters or whatever you have lying around, scissors, buttons of the size that you choose, and then some heavy duty thread and a needle. So today I'm going to be covering this button. You can use this kind, or you can use just a regular one with holes similar to this. But this one has the little shank on the back, so it'll be easier for me to sew it onto my final project. So I'm going to use this fabric, and I just wanted to show you, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go to thrift stores or Goodwill, and I'll just pick up some fabric off of a piece of clothing that I like. This is actually a little baby shirt, and so I've been cutting circles out of the bottom of that. And I just really liked the flowers. So you don't have to go to a fabric store if you don't have one. Just go to your local Goodwill and pick up something there. So I have a circle of my fabric cut out, and I'm going to show you how to put it on the button now. This is a real simple project, but the circle size that you use, you want to have it be slightly bigger than your button, because it's going to be curling around the edges like this. So start with your fabric and get your needle and thread. Tie a knot at the end of your thread, and then you're going to do what's called a running stitch around the outside edges, where you just go in and then back up again. You're not coming back and forth or anything, just in and out all the way around the outside edge of your circle. I found a tutorial online, and I will link to that. Apparently, when you're making a running stitch like this for yo-yos or for covering your buttons, the longer the stitch you use and the farther apart the stitches are, the smaller the hole that you get in the middle is going to be. So I try to kind of make it a medium size. I don't think I'm really worried so much about the size hole since I have the shank on my button, but something to keep in mind if you like a more finished, smaller hole look. So I'm almost all the way around now, and you can see all I have to do is pull this up and it will go right around the button. So now my circle is completely covered with the running stitch around the outside, so I'm going to take my button and just place it in the center. And you're going to want to bring the edges up and around the button. So I'm going to start pulling my thread. This is really all there is to it. And just pull it nice and tight so that it covers the front of your button smoothly. I might have been able to make this one this circle a little bit bigger. I'm having a tough time getting it around the last corner, but I think it'll do its job. That's what it looks like. And then you just sew the fabric across the back of the button and pull it really tight again so that it doesn't fall off. And you're going to be done. So there, I'm done sewing my button on the back, and here's the front. This just makes for a nice, smooth, different look if you can't find buttons that match. So we're making these buttons. I made a couple different ones when I was playing around earlier. I made this one tufted. It has a little bit of batting in it. It's kind of cute.
Fun. And that's when you're going to put on the sweater?
Yeah.
So they don't even have to be the same buttons as long as they're the same size, right?
Right, yeah. And if you do the same covering basically, and I have so many buttons from years past when my grandmother she'd always cut the buttons off of all the shirts that she had before she'd send them to thrift store. And So I have 1.5 million buttons, but none of them go together. Or they're like the generic shirt buttons, which they're not really cute.
So just a big circle around my button here, right?
Yep. Yeah, just eyeball it.
Alrighty.
Here's some.
Except that's more like a pyramid.
I don't think it has to be precise. It's just going to be more difficult to pull those edges in if it's not a circle.
Okay. I'm just going to keep cutting and make a big mess. Alright, and then with my thread, I'm not doubling the thread. I'm just doing a single
Yeah. This is
thready.
This is heavy duty thread. It's craft and button, so it's actually a little thicker than your average thread would be. So you might want to double it if all you have is like regular sewing thread. But this was, I just got this at Hobby Lobby, so it's not hard to find. And it's a little bit, I think it's a little more stable.
And you said if I make a bigger stitch, it gathers it more?
That's what I saw.
Huh.
I have not experimented too much with that to see the difference.
I guess so, because if you make little stitches, then you have a lot more gathers in the middle and you can't fit as many. That makes sense when you really think about it.
If you have a button with holes in it, like these have been, instead of the one I showed you earlier had the shank down the back, and so it was a flat top, you could sew it right through the shank for this one. But if you have one with holes in it, something that I think could be kind of fun is to use embroidery floss and use it in a completely different color or a complementary color to your fabric, and then make an X in the center when you sew it on with your, this one has a little X in it, with your embroidery floss. And that would, you know, if you only had white fabric too, that would make the color really pop, and you could coordinate that with your item that you're sewing it onto without having to invest in a whole bunch of different kinds of fabric. And floss is a lot less expensive than fabric is. And that would be,
true.
that'd be pretty sturdy too.
I think that I sewed this not close enough to the edge.
Oh.
Because it's not going all the way around the button.
Okay, so here, get a smaller button.
It looks kind of like a jar top.
It does kind of. Try a smaller button and see if it works.
I think you're right. I think it'll work with that one.
I need to find my batting. I think I shoved any in here.
There we go. Now it'll work. So we can
cute.
this one has 2 holes in it. So like you said, I can either go through the holes, or I could also go through the back of the fabric to sew it onto something, correct?
Right. Yeah, that would make it a little more elevated, but sometimes that's not a bad thing to have some space between your fabric and the button anyway.
Especially if you're actually closing it. In fact, when you sew on buttons, you're supposed to put a needle behind the button as you sew it on, so it doesn't, you know, when you sew it onto a piece of fabric,
Right.
you take an extra needle and you stick it underneath and sew it with the needle in there.
Really?
Because then it leaves enough space that the button will move a little bit when you
Okay.
go to button it. Otherwise, it gets, you sew something on it so tight you can't then
Yeah,
button
that
it.
makes sense.
So when you put the needle or a pin underneath of it, it gives you the space, just enough space to be able to button.
I
And
had
you're
not
done.
thought of that. That's an excellent point.
These are cute. You can make
Yeah.
lots of different things with these.
Yeah, I thought they'd be cute for, I mean, you could put them on barrettes, you can put them on all
These
kinds
would be
of stuff.
fun as a bouquet too.
Yeah,
Put little wires in there and through the loops before you sew it on.
that would be very cute.
You can have a little button bouquet.
Boutonniere.
We are full of ideas today.
I know it.
So hopefully you are full of ideas too.
Yeah. If you do any of these, I'd love to see a couple different ideas because, you know, they are totally experimental and who knows what you'll come up with. But post some pictures and let us see what you've done.
That would be fun.
Yeah. And this is, like I said, I think this is a great way to recycle too. It's a really fun way to dress something up without spending a whole ton of money.
Definitely.
Here. Ta-da.
Beautiful. Those are going to look great on that sweater.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cute.
Is that destined for someone, or is it just
No,
the pattern?
I think I'm gonna, I think I might put it in my Etsy shop.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, so something,
I think it'll go fast because it's cute.
I hope so. That would be a nice thing to get a little extra. Spend too much on yarn, don't have enough for groceries. Just kidding.
Only kids could eat yarn.
Just kidding. Well, thank you as always for joining us for another
Yes.
episode of Sticks and Stones. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this past year. And we'll continue to come back and join us for some more fun and crafts.
Great. Have a great day.
Yep, we'll see you soon. Bye.